I hate this. I hate this so much.
Hi, I'm Lisa.
And I'm Jen, and this is the Megaphone podcast.
And Jen hates this.
I hate this so much already. I feel like I'm going to give blood or something, you know? Like,
I thought you were going to say give birth, and I'm like,
that too.
To new freedom in life. Yeah. Amen. And all the hallelujahs. No, Jen hates this because
I hate this. I'm so uncomfortable.
Let me just tell the backstory.
Yeah.
This is called Maximize Your Me Time. It's number 1 in a 5-part series. And I chose this as our podcast things, getting out of the gate. Like, let's just do something that's going to be easy. Like, as we're, resettling from the I Am Mother of the Year podcast, I have this content created. I created this workbook. I really like this idea. Let's do it. I didn't give Jen a say in it because I thought this is fun and easy. And instead, she's having a conniption because I didn't know when I wrote this how much Jen is. I knew, but I didn't know until you get the physical. Look at her, she's sweating. She's it's a whole situation because we're talking about how to maximize your me time and minimize your guilt, which I am too good at, and she is absolutely terrible at.
So bad.
Not even
both
at doing it, but it's like you're not even putting yourself on the court.
Mm-mm.
You're not even playing the game.
No, on the
right.
bench.
Or you're spectating, maybe even you're not even suited up.
I forgot to come to the game. I didn't know you guys were playing tonight.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, let's go, guys. I'm the coach and the MVP. And I'm like, oh, yeah.
The mascot doing cartwheels.
What? Yeah, I'm everything. And my hair is just bothering me.
Who's singing the national anthem? Lisa Graff.
That's right. Who's commentating the game? Lisa Graff. Yeah, it's me. Because I maximize my me time. Part of it is because I did the work and I've learned this. And part of it is my predisposition. Part of it is just tons of things. But everything that comes so naturally to me feels like death to Jen.
Everything in me is opposite of me time.
Exactly.
Dang it.
So I wrote this. There's a workbook that goes along with this podcast series.
And it's so great.
It's so beautiful too. Let me show you. It's called Maximize Your Me Time, Minimize Your Guilt. See what we did there? Okay. Look at that.
I have the black and white version.
And still pretty.
Still pretty.
Wow.
I do. I love this so much. I printed it out. I wrote in it. I'm like, oh, I love this. This is free.
It's free at lisagraft.com. You can get it for free, and then you can follow along and do this work. So a lot of times we're like, do the work, and we give you ideas, but we don't give you a workbook. This time you get a workbook, and you are welcome.
A pretty free one.
It's pretty and free.
Yes.
And helpful. So it will take you an hour-ish if you sit down and just do it all in one sitting. But if you break it up and you want to follow along with us in the weeks that we're talking about this, it's 10 minutes a week, which you could totally do. Listen to this podcast and then go, I got some work to do. I better get my workbook out.
Oh, that'd be fun to do it at the same time.
Yeah.
Listen to the podcast, do the workbook.
Right.
Or do the workbook, then listen to the podcast and do it 5 times.
Exactly.
Cool.
So that's what we are hoping for you.
Mm-hmm.
And because if you're like Jen and feel like you might go into the nervous sweats, / you already are in the nervous sweats, we're really going to walk Jen through this whole workbook. And she hates
I hate this.
We sat down to podcast prep. And she couldn't even prep. She's like, nope. She's like, I trust you. Just you put it together and we'll do it. And I'm like,
fix me.
Okay. So now we're gonna work on Jen and you and me. I'm not excluded from this because there are lots of, everything's a double-edged
improve and work on.
Absolutely. But there are 5 questions that I've figured out that you could ask yourself about maximizing your me time and minimizing your guilt. And so number 1 is, I'm going to make you say it, Jen.
No.
Here's what you ask yourself. Have I done enough to earn this me time?
No.
My default is, heck yeah.
And honestly, my response is probably not. No, most likely it's going to be no, every time. No. Sometimes maybe yes, but most likely, most of the time, no.
Mostly no.
Yeah.
Why?
Okay. Well, you see, let me loosen the shoulders.
Whew,
You
well,
want
I
to give
feel
my token example?
Yes, do the token
Okay,
example.
this
We've
will-
got to really break this down.
This
Yeah,
will kind of answer through a story.
sure.
Okay, Jesus told stories.
That's right. This is the parable of Jen and the tokens.
Yes.
It can be found.
So good. Jesus and the talents. It's like Jen and the tokens.
It can be found in First Maximize.
Yes. Okay.
I don't know, I'm just trying to go for it.
Verse 5, chapter 5.
It's not
Verse 1.
It's not appreciated.
Oh, I just feel like it's blasphemous.
Oh,
This is not a book of the Bible. We're doing the best we can. But it's clever.
She's avoiding.
And
That's
I
what
like
she's
clever.
doing.
I know. I'm like,
She's
well,
just avoiding.
look, time's up. See you later.
Tell me more about your hair. Jen, tell the token example,
Jen
Jen.
and the tokens.
The parable of tokens.
I do need to breathe.
Yeah, that would be helpful.
All right. Once upon a time, I was going.
That's how Jesus started all of his parables.
When I'm going to tell a story, Jonah's like, don't say once upon a time. Every time. Every time.
No, I have to.
Yeah. It
Sorry.
signifies I'm going to tell a story. Hello.
Yeah. Okay, fine.
I was getting together with a friend and she was like, oh, let's meet at like 5 or 6, which communicates to me we're not doing dinner. 5 or 6, like she said happy hour. Like, oh, let's we're going to go grab a drink or something before dinner. So I'm like, okay, this is going to be probably 1 hour, maybe 1.5 hours, 2 at the absolute max. Done. Ends there. So I said, this is what we're going to have for dinner, husband. I'm going to be home by 7. I mean, 7:30 at the latest, whatever. Given the end time of I'm going to come home and eat dinner. Now, if you guys get hungry, you and Julianne, our daughter, you guys can eat without me, but I will not eat at this place. Okay? So save me some, throw it in the fridge. I'll come home and eat it. This was an actual conversation.
Yeah.
But are you okay watching Julianne while I go meet with this friend for an hour? Yeah, that should be fine. He didn't seem thrilled, but I'm like, I don't ask for this often. And I know, but I need to meet with her. So I already feel bad.
Already
so
rationalizing.
Asking,
Yep. Okay.
Will you watch her for, hour or 2? I go, it's basically 4 hours. I come home at 10:30.
Starving.
So hungry.
Did you eat? Did you end up eating?
I'm a little appetizer.
This begs the question. Okay.
But I think the adrenaline of the conversation, I'm like, all hunger cues are silenced.
Right.
So it wasn't until I get home that I was like, I'm so starving and ravished.
And he's like, I ate all the food.
Oops. He gets home and he's here, even keeled Jacob.
Always.
So he's washing dishes and stuff. How was it? Whatever. And I'm like, good, but I'm so sorry. And he's like, what? And I'm like, how was your night? I did not prep for that. And I thought I'd be home for dinner and I wasn't. And I'm texting him at my seat when she runs to the bathroom. I'm so sorry. Just the word so sorry. It's a whole thing. And when I was unpacking this with Lisa, I told her this story. She's giving me similar faces. And I was like, here's what I think it is. And I came up with this on the spot. I'm like, I feel like I gave him one token, as if you're paying a babysitter. Hey, I'm going to be gone for 1 hour. I'm going to give you this one token. Okay. This is what I'm cashing in because that one time you were gone, I have one token to spend at least, but this is what I'm going to cash in for tonight. Okay.
Yeah.
One token. Well, then if we're going for, let's just say 1 token per hour, it's I actually used 4, but I only paid for 1. So now I come home and I'm looking at him and I can see the disconnect that he does not care. And I way over care. I care way too much. And I can hear in my words, I'm trying to figure out ways to pay him back 3 tokens. And I'm searching from the past to go,
yeah.
Oh, that one night that you went out with the guys, how long were you gone? And then I'm going to count that up to see if I could actually cash that in for 3 tokens. And I'll go to this hypothetical bank and then I'll give you back those 3 tokens. Or am I going to steal this from the future? Could you take it out of my check, my direct deposit? Could you siphon out 3 tokens from the next time that you need it? Bank it in the future. I'm mentally trying to figure out how I'm going to pay him back these 3 tokens. And it's coming out as this really ugly, desperate apologies, guilt ridden. And I'm not telling him about the great conversation I just had with a friend. Like,
Yeah.
I felt like I'm in debt to you now, and I didn't prep for this, and I'm so sorry. And why? Because you watched our kid.
Yes. Your
One
own
time.
offspring.
To the point that, like, he's talked about later, like, oh, I think it was like, I listened to that song one night you were gone, and I was immediately defensive. I'm like, I'm never gone. So that must have been that one night I met with a friend. Was that it? And he's like, yeah, I think it was that. Even killed Jacob. Chill. I think it was that night. And I'm like, yeah, it had to be, because I haven't cashed in any other tokens. In my head. That's what I'm thinking. They're like, this came up like recently.
Wow.
Fix me.
I thought I was prepared for this. And where to start?
This is a problem.
Here's where we're going with this. This is a problem. We're going to get to the root of it.
Yeah.
We're going to offer some solutions.
Okay, there's the rest of our time.
Okay.
You want to hear my problems? More? More of my problems? Why this is a problem for me?
Yes. Yes. Please.
See if you can relate to this. After I share mine, we're going to talk about you a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? You're not off the hook. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
This is the hot seat.
You're like
for
calling
right
everybody
now.
on. Are you listening? Have you listened to the podcast this week? Well, you better. You better.
Do you relate to that one thing I said?
Or you give me a token now.
Yeah.
You talk about tokens. Well, I see you didn't listen to the podcast.
Mm-hmm. Tally in the bad column. Oh my God.
I'm so glad we're best friends.
Don't you want to be friends with me?
You can't have her. She's mine. She only gives her tokens to me.
I'm like, okay, this is the printout, okay, of this sheet in the PDF. What I hate the most is this last paragraph that says, this is Lisa's writing, okay?
I'm just
to me, and she doesn't know it. Life isn't a game where you keep score.
Look at her face. You can't see this. If you're
read
listening,
this-
her
I read
face is crinkled and her nose is scrunchy.
I was prepping last night, and I said out loud, yes, it is. In my life, it is. My life is a game where I keep score. That's a problem.
That's a problem.
You don't need to check everything off of your unrealistic to-do list before you take some time for yourself. And I went, yes, I do. And I do. Oh my gosh. So, okay, here's why. Here are the surface
Talk to me.
issues of why I am the way that I am and experiencing this trouble in my life. Okay, rapid fire. And then you just add in. I'm a 3 on the Enneagram. That's called the achiever. So I feel like in order to earn the me time, I have to achieve it all first.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay, I get that.
Wing 2, you can feel this. Helper. So I feel like I have to help everyone else around me first before I could even think about some sort of me time.
Mm-hmm.
Just relax my shoulders.
Like, why are you so
Why
tense,
is-
Jen? I don't know.
Why does my neck hurt? The next one is I am personally bent towards fairness. Like I have a big justice bone, as they say. So I'm big on trade, like scorekeeping and rewards-based systems. And this sounds awful, but in my brain, it's kind of nice. I'm like, at least it's fair. I'm like, it's fair. Like,
okay.
It is what it is. Like, it's not unfair. But the problem is,
It's fair. It's fair. Okay, it's fair. It's not unfair. It's fair.
I just feel like
It's fair.
I hear Jacob in my head of like,
Okay.
but no, life isn't about. And I'm like, yes, it is. I just feel like the good parts of this is like, if you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours.
Mm-hmm.
So someone helped us move once, helped me move out of my apartment before we got married, and I'm like, I've been searching for years for the equivalent way that I can pay them back. And like they were in a show, and I was the first ones to buy tickets. Because I'm like, and I said to Jacob's like, this is so great. We're going to see them tonight because he's about like just loving people and grace and relationships. And I'm like, yeah, I think this will get me like half of a token. Oh my gosh. This will get me at least halfway to pay them back for moving us out of my apartment.
To which he said,
are you kidding me?
they don't even remember your apartment.
No,
They
they're like,
were
of course they would
thrilled.
do that.
They're thrilled to show up for
Oh,
you.
but it still nags at me. I'm like, I need like at least half of good works more to give back to them, to pay them back, to how much that helped me.
I'm going to put you on the spot and ask you literally the worst question I could possibly think of. Is what's the score between us right now?
See, we're pretty even. You introduced me to my husband, so I'm trying to still pay you back a little bit.
Well, that doesn't sound like even then.
Well,
now you're on the podcast and I don't pay you.
Yeah, but like we're good about like, I'll get your smoothie, you'll get my Starbucks. Like we're pretty even.
Okay.
Because I started at a deficit. You got me like a job and a husband. I'm like, oh crap, I'm gonna do so much.
You're welcome.
So like, I'll edit your stuff. I'm like, oh, this is good. Like I'm getting closer to paying her back a little bit. So it's just my lifelong journey of trying to chip away at getting on your level. It's actually good. We're good. Oh, that feels nice.
Does it? That sounds terrible to me. You said we're even. I'm forever in debt and I'll never chip away at it.
Just chipping away. Yeah. But at least I'm going to do nice things for you.
Well, hallelujah.
All right. Next one is, one of my top 5 strengths is discipline. And I wrote this down because I feel like this is a factor, because I feel like it's how I'm wired, like high discipline. So like I will get these things done. Like I am work before play. So it's like that gets uneven when I feel like me time is in the play category. I'm like, yeah, do I have to earn it? Yeah, because I have to work before I play. I have to earn my relaxation.
I feel like you could use your strength of discipline, which is huge, which I am working towards.
Yeah.
It's not at the bottom of my list.
Yeah.
It's kind of in the middle. So it's not like a hopeless cause, but like it's one of my affirmation statements in my mirror. Like, you are disciplined.
You are finding structure and
I'm
thriving
finding structure.
in that. Yeah.
Exactly. You could use your strength and superpower of discipline to discipline yourself to say, no, I've done enough work. Even if you feel like you have to say that, because I am of the opinion, are you breathing? Okay, cool. You've done enough. If you've even downloaded this, if you're listening to this, I mean, you've done enough, right? Forever. You don't have to do anything else to earn something that's going to make you the best version of yourself.
Because you feel like me time is necessary.
Oh, it's necessary. I would go psycho, and like I already dabbled in that. Okay. So like I have to, otherwise I won't be able to function.
Yeah.
Which is true for everyone, but we all hide it differently.
Yeah.
But I think you could use your strength of discipline to go, no, I'm going to discipline myself to make sure I give myself me time when I need it, not when I've earned it.
Okay, that would be huge.
Yes, that would change your entire life.
Ironic. Like, oh, you're disciplined? Cool. Be disciplined about me time. I'm like, oh, that's so counterintuitive.
Right.
Like, be disciplined about your play, not just about your work.
Right.
And it makes sense. Like, apply it to both sides, not just one. Why are you being one-sided? Is that fair? No?
Uh-huh.
Oh my gosh.
Efficient, either harmonious or any of your other. I'm just trying to, these are digs. This is when you know someone well, you can use them against themselves.
Your strengths as weaknesses. Okay, I love that. My last one is why I don't do this is because of guilt.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm being selfish, or like if I do take me time, I feel like I'm being a bad mom or a bad wife, like bad person. Like you should be doing all these other things. And should is that shame word, which makes me feel guilt.
Yeah.
I felt guilty owing my husband 3 tokens for being longer than I expected.
Yeah. I can't keep a straight face when she says tokens. I feel like she's at Chuck E. Cheese. Like your life is at Chuck E. Cheese.
Totally, but it is.
But I just need a place. I just want to play. Can I go play skee ball? Like, sorry, you don't have enough tokens.
Dang it. I'll earn them. Yeah. I'll work really hard. I'll get them.
You do work really hard.
I know.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
There was something brilliant I was going to say too. Oh, and it is this. It goes back to our last podcast of you're like, I feel guilty. I should. Who's driving you? The
Ew.
devil is driving you into that guilt.
Ew.
God's not calling you into the freedom of feeling so guilty
Oh,
and burned out
totally.
and like you can't take a moment to have peace.
Oh, that is brilliant. You're right.
Thank you.
Yes.
Take it to heart.
This
is really hard.
Oh my gosh.
You can't feel the tension in this room, but I'm hoping to transfer it to the microphone somehow.
Yes, if there was like a heat map, I'd be like, so hot.
All right, spontaneously combust.
And that's because this is me, okay? So what about
you?
you?
It's your turn. Well, and I'll tell you, because people are like, what about you, Lisa? Like, I can start with myself and go, I don't know why. And part of it is I've done some work, I guess, on this, and
you're intentional.
I'm very intentional about my self-care, and I practice what I preach, sort of thing. And I also keep score and tokens, okay, but it's in a different way. So I do that with my emotional capacity, because I'm such an emotional feeler that I do keep score of how much you've drawn from me emotionally. Not in order to give it back, but for myself, to
conserve. And
I have to conserve, or I have to go get more. Like, and if I have to go get more, I gotta go get more. And
so that I can give some more back to you later. But I
just want to keep giving this out. But like, and if something unexpected happens in my day where like it takes everything out of me, then it's plans canceled and I go take a nap. Like, I can't even function, because I've done it before where I've gone into like, I've just keep going. You can do it. Just keep going. Just put your face on. And I get so like physically sick. And also I bring nothing good to the table then. Like, I'm not bringing nowhere close to my best. In fact, I think I'm doing more damage than if I would just take an hour, reset my mind, take a nap, whatever, and go, oh, okay, time to get back out there.
Oh my gosh. Naps. You had me at a nap.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. And that's me. And I know I'm on the very emotional end of the very emotional spectrum. Okay. But I don't know, but for you, like, I know some women who are stay-at-home moms and they don't take that time. One, because they're not the breadwinner or they're not bringing income into their family. So to say, hey, I'm going to go out to dinner. Oh, with whose money? Like, and not that their husbands are saying that, they're not, but in their head, hear that in your head. You hear it in your head, and that's not even happening. And if it is, I'm so sorry if that's your reality. Look, but likely that's not happening. You're just thinking it, and it's not true.
You feel like, no, I haven't earned this me time because I don't work outside the home.
Right.
But look at the work you're doing inside the home.
Are you kidding?
Oh my gosh.
And I think, and then there's the other part of the spectrum where you get so used to being the one that everyone needs.
Yeah.
That you're like, no, I can't possibly leave, because who would put the kids to bed?
Yeah. Who would? I suppose their father.
Right. Father. Or you're a single mom and you're like, no. Like, ask a friend can do it. Like, trade kid time, you've got to figure it out.
Yeah.
And that's why I created this workbook, because it's so important.
Yeah.
And so it's not just you on the extreme of everything is the tokens and the thing. It's not just me on the other end going feeling, because sometimes my feelings are not good drivers. Okay. They're good passengers. And so when I let my feelings drive, I can feel like laying in bed all day. Well, no, I'm not, I haven't earned a full day in bed being lazy. That's, so it's a double-edged sword, but
there's the quote though. I can see the Canva now. Again,
which
like
one?
Feelings are not good drivers.
They're
good passengers.
Very good passengers.
Very
good passengers.
So true. They're not reliable.
No, oh my gosh, they're not reliable.
They're impulsive.
I got turn left.
Whoa.
Do you feel like you've earned your me time? No. But you're like, I don't even check in with my feelings. I check in with the data.
Yeah.
Like, I check in with my list.
My token bank.
She checks in with her token bank.
Check the balance.
Okay. So now there's the problems. Let's start getting to the root.
I feel like sometimes we talk about this Henry Nouwen idea of these 3 core lies. And the one I resonate with is I am what I do.
Yeah.
And the second one is I am what I have. And the third is I am what people think of me, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I feel like, yeah, I am what I do.
I am what I accomplish.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm only as good as or as bad as my value fluctuates with my to-do list.
Yes. You years ago asked me, what is your core lie? And my core lie is that my worth comes from external things, such as what I do it and how well I do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, yeah, I guess for me, the root is this idea that like, I'm only as good as what I can accomplish. So if I stop accomplishing and just be, then what's my value? What am I bringing to the table? Who am I?
Right.
That's scary.
And that's a question that only you can answer. Because I could tell you, and this is part of the exercise. So like, this is why I put this in the workbook is what would your best friend say to you? Like, what would your most compassionate friend say to you if you said, I know I need some me time, like, but I can't rationalize it. What would your best friend tell you?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Of course you do. Absolutely.
Right. Like if I came to you, you would absolutely, knowing even if I already had a nap that day, you'd be like, heck yeah, go out for dinner, girl. Get yourself a massage afterwards.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
You could just go like shower it upon me, but we don't shower it upon ourselves as easily.
And I think that's a great segue to, as I was thinking about roots, I'm like, I think it comes down to grace. Yeah. Like, I feel like if I'm a minute late or more, that there is zero grace on the other side of whoever is I'm meeting. Yeah. Unless they're late too.
But grace, if you're unfamiliar with the term, is just unearned favor and continued presence. Yeah. Like
it's a gift.
I want to still be with you, even though you might not deserve it. Yeah. That's grace. Yeah. It's this continual presence and relationship. And it's free.
And I treat it like it has to be earned.
Right.
And I have to prove it. And I have to do A, B, and C in order to get grace on the other side. Yeah. And what's crazy is, as we were talking to prep, I'm like, I think the other people are giving it to me. Yeah. And I have lovely people in my life. They're like, oh no, I'm giving it to you. And I'm going, no, you could never possibly give that to me. And the root is because I don't give it to myself.
Yes.
I don't have grace for myself. So then I reject the grace that you're giving me.
Yeah. And I'm like, I'm just trying to give you a gift.
No,
I don't want a gift.
I would never give that to myself. So I can't accept it from you. Well, I know you wouldn't, but I am.
No. I am. Let me do this for you. No. That's huge. Yeah. And I'll go on my side and go, I have lots of grace for myself. And I'm just a grace all around. Woo! I have lots of grace for other people and I have lots of grace for myself. Mm-hmm. And again, that could be a dangerous game. Like, well, just give yourself a break because whatever. And like, I am a very good rationalizer. Like literally, if you need me to help you rationalize anything, I will. Just give me a little ring-a-ling-a-dingle.
Yeah. Wow.
That was a call. Who calls anymore? Just text me, okay? Rude. I'm not going to answer. There is no grace for a phone call. Only texting.
Yeah.
So anyway, all to say, you could be on one end or the other. It's a balance.
Yeah.
It's a balance.
We've been talking a lot about truth and grace lately of like finding that perfect medium in the middle. Like, bring truth and grace. Yeah. Not just truth and not just grace. Like you have to have the both.
Gotta have both.
The last root I could think of is that it's not sustainable. What I'm doing, earning me time and rationalizing why I don't deserve it.
It's not working.
It's not working. You will burn out. You have to love others as yourself, which means you have to care for yourself and in order to be healthy and be your best. Mm-hmm. Next. Let's get through this. So done.
Oh my god.
What's the solution, Lisa?
The solution is to find the freedom. If you're going to get to the bottom of this, you've got to figure out like whatever the root is for you, figure it out and then tell yourself the truth in that. get to the truth. Like we can find our problems, boom, like that. But then we got to get to the actual root of the problem. But we cannot stop there. We have to rip that bad root out, and we've got to replace it with the healthy, good root. Like the root of, it does not matter how many things I accomplish in the day, because there's a million things to accomplish tomorrow too. Like the list, we're never done. Ever. Like if you waited to earn things, like you would never ever get them.
Right.
And it's like, no, that's not how God calls you into a relationship. That's not how God sees you. And so it's ripping that nasty root out and replacing it and planting the root and getting the roots of grace and rest and peace and like all of those sweet and wonderful words that if you actually if they took root in your heart and you started living like, I believe that I have undeserved, unearned grace to take some time for myself. If I need 10 minutes right now, I'm going to take it because I believe that I'm worthy of that. Because I'm worthy of the 10 minutes.
I have God's grace.
Yeah.
Because I have grace for myself, and now I'm going to have grace for others.
And I don't have anything to prove.
Yeah.
I don't have anyone to please. And I don't have anything to protect. Like that's the truth. So if your core lie is, I am only as good as all of my accomplishments, or I'm only as bad as all of my failures, then that's where you start. That's the root.
Yeah.
Yank that out, replace that with the truth.
Yeah.
Got to.
And figure out ways, I think, I'm speaking to myself, but to care for yourself, like figure out what does it for me with self-care, like me time.
Yeah.
Like,
which is what we'll get to.
Yes.
Like we'll get to in this thing. There's a 5-part series, which you can say, like we've already gone over time because even just the first part of it is so heavy.
Yeah.
I didn't expect it to be heavy. Like we had a good time with it, but it's heavy. And I know like you actually are feeling it.
Oh, I am.
She's going to go home and take a nap.
No, I'm not, but I should. And could, but I can't. Oh no, it's a problem.
She could do it.
I got a lot of work to do. And I think one of the things for me is I need to stop. I can't even say it. Maybe try to someday work on stopping keeping score.
Yeah.
Oh, just stretch it out. It's hard for me. I'm just bent towards.
It's hard. It's hard for all of us in all the ways. So
but
you are not alone. Jen, you are not alone.
Thank you.
You are not alone. If you are working through this, we want you to. The workbook is free for you to download at lisagraft.com. And we want you to walk through this journey with us. Like this is 5 weeks. We're going to take 5 weeks to get through this. And hopefully by next time we record, Jen, for the next step, you're going to be like, oh, you know what I did? We can celebrate a victory. And so that's what I'm hoping.
I have more homework.
We'll have homework to do, and she can celebrate, and we can all cheer Jen on.
Yay!
Yay!
Can I give one Bible verse and then you'll end us out?
Yes.
Okay.
Bible verse it up.
I found this and screenshotted it and tried to save it as my wallpaper. It's concise, but it's to the point. I mean, it's okay. Exodus 14:14. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. I was like, I bet self-care is not in the Bible. And then it's like, here's 23 like easy scriptures that says yes it is. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is a real thing.
Oh, yeah.
This is not just a Lisa Graft thing.
No,
she is pro self-care. But guess who also is? Jesus.
The Lord.
And I'm like, oh, he's gonna take care of like the big and hard things. Like he's gonna walk with you and be with you. You need only to be still. I was like, oh, what if I actually believed that and like acted on that?
Yeah. In the stillness of spirit. Not even in not like being productive, but in the stillness of your spirit and your soul to go, I can experience true rest right now.
Okay, I am gonna go now.
Yes. And then next week we're gonna celebrate that napping victory from Jen. Yay. But today, listen, dear, sweet, loving, wonderful friend, you have permission to take.
Don't look at me.
I know. This came to me and I wrote it down. I was like, don't look at my clipboard, Jen. I'm gonna ninja you at the end. You have permission Jen, to take unearned me time.
Oh my gosh. It hurts. It burns. But it's so good.
Yep. You have permission. You have permission. You're wonderful. You're worthy. Can't even stop. I'm going to start preaching, so we better end it now so you can get to your workbook and figure it out. And we'll see you next week. Download your workbook. Everything's fine. You have permission.
Unearned?
Unearned.
You don't have to earn it.
You have permission to take unearned me time. Good luck with that.
Bye.